I am Phoebe Fructuoso, Chairwoman of PAVE Philippines.
And this is my story.
At kasama ko na ho siya ngayon, si Phoebe Fructuoso. Hi Phoebe! Okay lang ba na babalikan natin muna ang nakaraan mo?
Sure.
Oo. So, thank you so much for being brave, courageous, and for being here right now to tell us your story. So, again, take us to that night when it all happened.
This was 8 years ago. Nung night po kasi na yun, medyo madami kami. This was in a bar. It's actually resto bar siya. Within my neighborhood lang sa South. And then, the rape actually happened when we continued drinking sa house ng friend ko. One of the 4 people dun. So, bale, yung iba umalis na. Pero ako po, nagstay po kasi ako because I trust them. So,
mga kaibigan mo sila talaga.
Oo. Pero, syempre, friends before, 3 of them po, kabatch ko sila nung high school. So, I've known them for years. Pero yung isa doon, yung nakakulong na po and which I consider as justice talaga, na-meet ko lang po that night. I actually wasn't really talking to him that night. So, it's really something na hindi ko ma-expect. So, parang siyang extra sa group nila. Yung group of friends ko kasi na nung high school, parang siyang they're one big group. They're probably 10 to 12 boys. And then yung isa, kuya nung isa, na out, wala dun sa tatlo. So, bale parang they were a group of guys na basketball, medyo cool kids sila noon kasi it's a small school and mas known sila. Pag nag-high school ka kasi sa school na yun, parang it puts you on a pedestal. I remember when it happened, we were just drinking. Nung time na yun, I was actually heartbroken. Like, nung time kasi na until now, I can say I've never had a boyfriend. Yeah, I've dated people but I've never had a boyfriend. Nung time na yun, parang, kasi this was second year college. So, I've only dated one person, hindi pa yun boyfriend. So, it affected me a lot. Like, I was heartbroken, and since I grew up without a father, it's not a reasoning naman. Pero, I know kasi now that I've done counseling, I've studied myself, parang I seek comfort in a male presence. Like, kasi I grew up in a household na puro babae. So, I grew up, I love video games, I love the color blue. Parang a part of me was kind of tomboyish. I like the things boys like. And I see them as brothers talaga. So, I find comfort in that. They're like my kuyas. So, yun. So, when I had that heartbreaking experience, parang I went out to them because that's the comfort I felt. Tapos, 18 years old ako noon, kaka-legal ko lang. Yeah. Di ba when kids, they become legal, parang, oh, ang cool pumarty. Ang cool lumabas. Like, finally, we can do this legally. So, yun. Kaka-start ko lang din, nung time na yun, kaka-start ko lang din na pinapayagan lumabas. I grew up with strict parents. So, yun. I went out. I drank with them. Drank a bit too much because I trusted them. So, pagdating sa bahay, yung 3 tao na nauna, I'm not sure exactly what they did to me. Parang flashback siya eh. And then, nung kumalat na yung story, like I said in the interview, most people thought it was an orgy. Like, naniniwala sila na orgy siya. Pinagkalat nila na orgy siya. And the worst part is, nagkalat sila ng nude photo na hindi naman ako. Pero nung time kasi na yun, super short ng hair ko. Tapos I had I was thin, I had a petite frame. So nag-share sila ng photo ng babae din na gano'n, na mirror selfie, but it's not really me. So parang nung time na yun, at an early age, parang my heart already sunk to the floor. So parang at 18 years old, I've experienced the world misunderstanding me. Because I studied in Alabang. For people from Ateneo, like, umabot ng katipunan yung case ko dahil kumakalat sa circles all around the school. Because iba-iba yung story na pinagsasabi nila. So, yung boyfriend na yun, parang nag-confide yung isang doon na part of the 3 na nauna. So, yung alam ko is ito yung sequence. Sequence 1, 2, 3 siguro. Like, parang naalala ko itong dalawa. I kind of have a flashing memory na they touch me. Tapos yung ito, parang nandun lang sa room. So parang siyang watcher. And siya din yung may-ari ng bahay. So, but at the end of the day, you still enabled it. Kakasuhan pa rin kita ng rape because you were there. You enabled it. And who knows what they could have done, diba? But the last one is when medyo nag-sober up na ako. So they really took advantage of me. And
when you say that,
ito pa pala, a key thing I mentioned and I remember in my testimony sa court. Yung isa, yung at large ngayon, naalala ko, parang bumubulong sa akin nung medyo hazy ako. Si blank to. So parang, yung fourth na yun is the person touching me. Pero bakit mo sinasabi na ikaw yun? So parang nagkokonsyaba talaga sila na they were all, like, it's a collective action na gagawin natin kay Phoebe Tonton.
Pinlano.
Parang siyang plinano eh. Kasi bakit kayo nag-work together? Parang pinagpasapasahan nila ako. And at that point, hindi ko na alam yung gagawin ko. Medyo hazy, didn't know what to do.
Did you try to fight?
No.
Wala ka ng lakas?
I mentioned this also in one of my podcasts. Parang tapos na sila eh. Natulog na ako. This is what happened. Tapos na sila. Parang nag-take turns na sila. Tulog na ako. Pagod na ako. And then, parang nagbihis na po ako doon. Like, parang binihisan ako ng isa sa kanila. Tapos tulog na lahat. So, tulog na. Rest na lang. I woke up na someone's on top of me. Penetrating me. And then, I was pinned down. Nakaganon. I couldn't do anything. So, I just woke up like, what is happening? And I remember, I was screaming as loud, like internally, I was screaming super duper loud. Nakala ko may voice lumalabas, pero wala pala. So like, I was just like, pero it's inside my head. Like parang, why can't I speak? It's the same feeling of having sleep paralysis na, but you're trying to move para gumising ka. Yun yung feeling ko. Sumisigaw ako, pero walang sigaw. So I just let it happen.
Umaga na yan.
So around 3, 4 a.m. most likely because I got home around morning na.
Let's talk about your mom. Kailan mo sa kanya sinabi na yun nangyari sa'yo at paano mo sinabi sa kanya considering that, sabi mo nga at that time, medyo hindi kayo in good terms?
Yeah. So my mom and I haven't had the best relationship. She had me at 18 years old. The same age the case happened to me. And I think, pag inisip ko 18, ang bata ako, parang like I could never have a kid. What more raise a kid? So I never really, you know, parang I just tried to understand my mom as much as possible. But yeah, she was raising a teenager and she was like a child that had a child. Yeah. So, we didn't always see eye to eye. So, natatakot ako kaya hindi ko sinabi sa kanya na I was raped. Like, I was really telling myself, kini-Christianese? Yung language ko sa friends ko noon na parang, no, I can get through this. Like, God's got me. I'll tell my mom when I'm healed. Yeah. And then my friends were just like, the one thing talaga that pushed me to tell my mom after 2 weeks is, Phoebe, how would you feel if your mom found out that you were raped and she wasn't able to do anything to help? And parang, nung naisip ko yun, I put myself in her shoes and I was like, okay, I have to do this. So, ginawa ko, I called her then boyfriend up and I was close to that boyfriend kasi I said, Tito, this happened. Can you bring mom to my lolo's house? I was living with my lolo kasi malapit sa school. Can you bring her here? I'm gonna tell everyone what happened. Even my household didn't know what was happening. Siyempre yung dad side ko. I live with my dad's side except my dad. I'm not really close to my dad, so I'm close to my lolo. So, siyempre gulat sila na parang it fell on their hands somehow. Na parang bakit hindi nyo hinigpitan, something like that.
Paano mo hinigpitan?
Like, syempre, my mom would...
Hindi naging stricto sa'yo?
My mom would... Yun yung iniisip ko, like, my mom would think na, bakit nyo pinayagan na malabas-labas lang? Because my lolo was somewhat, you know, lenient, while my mom was strict. Yeah, kasi I have a tita and tito, naka-age ko lang, younger than me actually, na that's yung treatment sa kanila, na you know.
Siguro baka natatakot yung mom mo dahil siya, di ba, teen pregnancy. Ayaw lang niya maulit sa'yo siguro yung nangyari sa kanya. Kaya ganun siya ka-strict. Out of concern. And then, sige, tuloy.
Actually, my worst fear then that time na like, what if I got pregnant with that? Because I've actually talked to survivors na have a kid, like, alive, na
So,
product
natakot
ng
ka.
rape.
Paano kung nabuntis ka?
Buti na lang hindi because that would be my worst nightmare. Also,
grabe.
like, and then nangyari yung rape. I'm like, this is the worst nightmare. So
balik tayo. Anong naging reaction nila? Bukod sa nagulat sila, ano yung sumunod after mong finally na ilabas mo na talaga yung nangyari?
So it was tough. Pero matalino yung ex ng mom ko kasi sinabihan niya yung group of friends ng mom ko, yung mga kababata niya na like, na have kids also, that this happened to Phoebe, please prepare CJ for what's about to happen. So medyo, she was guided. She still was at the height of her emotions, of course. She's a mom.
Yeah.
She screamed also, pero at the end of it, she was like, it's us against the world. Like, so parang on the same night, nagde-deliberate na yung family ko. So what do? Do we have a case? Let's call a lawyer. Biglang nagde-deliberate na family ko. My lolo has a friend na lawyer. Nag-usap na lahat. Tapos, pati yung other members ng family ko. Kasi everyone lives in different houses. Nandun na. So, yun na. That was the beginning of my nightmare. Yeah. Kasi, parang for me, the most traumatic. Like, usually I speak na I'm healed. But now that I'm remembering it, the hardest part was writing my entire testimony in Tagalog. Kasi and it's not my first language. So, parang dun ako nahirapan na you have to write your entire testimony in Tagalog. Tapos pag nasa court ka na, English na. So, parang dun ka na ina-attack na bakit hindi consistent? Like, kasi parang ako din, I wouldn't, like, it would be an ideal world if all people na yung victims na went to court, they get justice. But like me, it took 8 years for me to get justice. And when I talk to survivors and parang they're seeking, like most of them don't know how the legal system works. That's why they reach out. So parang I would say also, like, if you want to file a case, make sure you're prepared. Like, you're mentally prepared. Kasi iikutin ka nila eh. They're gonna literally tell you na, oh, it was an orgy, it was consensual. Sisirain nila yung, like, you have to be tough. You have to be mentally tough.
You have to stick to your truth also.
Yeah. Tapos, may group chat pa sila after it happened. Actually, ito yung nagpanalo ng case ko eh. Kasi, yung best friend ko nung high school who was there also that night, or umalis siya. I won't name names na lang. But, she testified for me. Actually, I had 3 people that testified for me in court. Pero yung isa kasi sa kanila, dinedate yung isang guy sa group of friends na yun. So, this one guy knows the truth. Kasi he's part of the group eh. So, yung group na yun, kinikwento sa kanya. But, medyo naipit siya sa crossfire na yung jowa niya, yung best friend, ni-rape ng mga kaibigan ko. So, parang, he was like, Phoebe deserves justice. Pero, hala, social suicide. Anong gagawin ng mga lalaki na to? Kaibigan ko din sila eh, diba? So, parang siyang ganun. So, parang siyang double agent spy. Parang siyang ganun. And yung best friend ko has the password nung guy. So, my best friend testified in court with screenshots na the name of the guy gave me his password long ago, and I opened the chat that includes the 4 suspects admitting that they raped Phoebe. Tapos, yung nandun pa sa screenshots na yun, may mga picture ng ibang babae na in a bar, tapos yung mga comments nila, ang sarap mang rape pag ganyan kasama mo. Tapos, dun pa lumalabas yung death threats, parang patayin na lang natin si Phoebe para wala ng kaso. Parang, as in, ganun yung mga comments nila, sarap mang rape. Parang they're making fun of it. Tapos, they mentioned dun sa group chat, squad goals. Back then, 2016, hindi pa uso yung Ihaha movement, hindi pa uso yung Me Too movement. Grabe, ganito yung pag-iisip ng mga tao. And nung time na yun, parang, you wouldn't know it until it happens to your mom, until it happens to your sister. Parang, wala kang pake. And like I mentioned in one of our podcasts na we shot here, these are things that should be taught in schools. Na parang, you should teach consent to young children. Na bata pa lang, what are no-no zones? Here, like, if someone touch you, you're supposed to say no. Because as I've been talking to other survivors, parang, kahit kasing age ko na, Phoebe, this guy makes me uncomfortable touching me. But, it's okay. He's a friend naman eh. So parang, no, you're violated. So, it's really something that we have to shift and educate the next generation. off. So yun yung nagpanalo ng case ko. Going back to the story, another key thing pala sa case ko din, na nag-testify din sa akin yung pinsan ko. So I have a cousin na lalaki din na who's parang, he's a protective person talaga, protector. Na he also went to the same high school with us. I remember I was looking for my phone, can't find it, parang hawak pa nila. But for some reason, they knew my password. Because, hindi ko maalala. Biglang my cousin was worried the next day nung nasa bahay na ako, I was processing what happened, Phoebe, ano nangyari? Because I messaged him, pick me up, parang come save me, ni-rape nila ako. I messaged that to my cousin. But when I checked my phone, nasan yung message ko? My cousin had a copy of the message and he was able to show that in court.
Kasi you can only delete from your end.
Yeah.
Kabilang side, na-save pa yun.
Yeah, so that's why I had 3 people that testified for me. Another one is a friend na kunentuhan ko lang kung ano nangyari. So I had 3 people testifying for me, but yun nga, the one in prison now, had 0. Like, yung team nila, yung squad goals nila, iniwan din siya. He had 0 people testifying for him.
But it took how many years bago siya nakulong?
2020. Nakulong siya 2020. I remember, June 2020, biglang nag-send ng video tita ko. We found him. Like, napakulong na siya. Kasi ang tagal niya at large eh. So, hindi gagalaw yung case mo until...
Ilang taon siya nagtago bago siya nahuli?
Kasi 2016, I forgot na what exact year. Kasi...
So, mga 4 years siyang nagtago.
Yeah. Kasi I remember, yung address nila na nasa yung Sabpinas, laging pinapacheck sa mga police. Pero usually walang kotse. So palaging chine-check lang ng police every now and then. Kasi yung lolo ko and my tita who really were adamant to justice. Sila talaga yung nag-follow up and everything. Kasi I was too traumatized na eh.
Yeah.
Usually hindi po ako nagpapakita sa court until kailangan ko talaga mag-speak. Which is 2020 nung nakulong na po siya. So I remember June 2020 siya nakulong and that was pandemic. And nung Feb 2020 my best friend passed away. So parang sunod-sunod siya. Feb, my best friend passed away. March, pandemic. Tapos I'm locked in, I can't really leave my house. Tapos nung nakulong siya, September I had to testify. So, it was one of the hardest things I had to do. I remember nung pinapractice ako ng prosecutor. Wala na akong lawyer nun. Like, I had 0 lawyer. Wala nang... I had a little bit of a fallout with my mom's side. That was my dad's side that pursued it all throughout. We're good now though, me and my mom, of course. But, nung time na yun, you know, my mom had me at a young age, so we didn't really see eye to eye during that time. So, my mom was the one funding for the lawyers. So, nung time na to, parang my family was like, kaya na yan ng prosecutor. Like, actually, I was so blessed na my prosecutor was good. But I remember practicing with the prosecutor again and again in City Hall. Kasi, pinapaalala na sa akin. Kasi imagine, 2016 nangyari, 4 years later, kailangan ko lahat ilaalala. Parang, it's a baggage on your back na hindi mo lang mabitawan. Na parang, naka-heal na ako eh. Like, I mean, siguro, nung 2020, I would say I was already like 70% healed thanks to my faith. But like, yung hindi ko lang, parang it's just there because you have that baggage, hindi ka pa completely free. So like in my pinned post on Instagram, like yung sa cloud, sabi ko, you know what that cloud was that I wasn't? I wasn't free. Parang it's like it's dragging me around lang. Because I was really losing my mind. And I mean, I had the foundation of faith, and then Tita Miriam, you know, took initiative. I'm like, wow, I just met her noon. I mean, I knew of her, of course. And I was just very touched na someone like her would take initiative because she knows Joy Tanchi's story. So, Joy Tanchi released this book in 2014. It's called When a Good God Allows Rape. So basically, Joy Tanchi is a pastor's daughter. And she got raped by 7 armed men. And if I'm not mistaken, 10 armed men robbed her house. And yung 7 raped her in every room. And then my friends siya, 2 friends na dumating kasi sleepover dapat. And they got raped too. So it was a total tragedy, and she explains it in that book. So parang, I'm so happy na Tita Miriam, you know, thought of this. I was supposed to meet her. I don't think I was able to meet her because she wasn't available. But instead, she gave me that book, and it gave me so much hope kasi nung binaliktad ko, my family photos siya ni Joy. And she has a husband, she has so much kids. I still check her IG now, she has 6 kids. So it gave me so much hope na if God can, you know, give her a beautiful life, turn such a harrowing experience into, you know, a beautiful testimony, into a beautiful life, then God can do that for me too. And He has. And He's continually is giving me that life. And I'm just so glad na I get to help people through PAVE. And I've been receiving overwhelming support. Like, especially with you, like one of the first people that interviewed me. And it's just great na, you know, I can live a life of purpose now.
Then let's talk about your journey. When that happened, when that just happened, did you question God why He made that happen to you, especially right after?
Yeah. Actually, when I was talking to other survivors, dun ko lang na-realize na, oh nga no, some people can think that way. Because someone commented in my church testimony, like, where's your God? Like, if God is real, why do children get cancer? If God is real, why do women like you get raped? What's wrong with you? Why do you love Jesus, right? Never ko naisip yun because I was reading The Purpose-Driven Life by Rick Warren. Such a good book. It's a devotional every day. So 1 chapter a day lang siya. I was on chapter 20-something, 24 if I'm not mistaken. And the title is Transformed by Trouble. So it's a passage about when bad things happen, just continue to trust God. So parang yun ang naging yung mark ko. At an early age, during the first month of the case, alam ko na like one day I'm gonna speak up about it. I'm gonna be speaking in a large crowd and God will turn this story into a beautiful life. So I had that hope na parang I was being guided all throughout. Like I heard them like, what are the odds nangyari to? So I just continued reading the book and it's all about purpose. So since 2016, plan, purpose, provision, Jeremiah 29 verse 11 is the words that it's the words that I ingrained in my entire being, and palagi ko na lang yun pinapaalala sa sarili ko na like God has a plan, He's gonna provide for you.
Jeremiah 29:11, for I know the plans I have for you. Pero yung time na yun, Phoebe, at a young age, 18 ka lang, di ba? Was there ever time na pinag-iisipan mo yung nangyari na natutulala ka na lang? How did that affect your mental health?
It was really bad. It was really
bad. What happened
bad.
to you then?
I thought of every way I could kill myself, which is, it's part of my poem. Like, I had so much faith, dream, plans, and goals, but all of a sudden I wasn't so hopeful. Like, a self-inflicted death is all I had in mind to make it all end. Na, I love God so much, pero God, kunin mo na ako. Like, why do I have to go through this? Na parang hirap na ako. And honestly, that's why I super advocate for mental health there. Because for me, like, the way my mental health and the relationship with my mom kind of hurt me more than the actual rape. So, it's also another factor for me to tackle with PAVE, and we will this 2024, and I'm just so glad that my mom now is more open to mental health. We have schedules now with a counselor, so it's such a big step 8 years later kasi mom, this is what ang sakit nun eh, parang nagsabay. So parang siyang ganun. Ito yung rape, ito yung relationship.
Like, what saved you during those moments? Rock bottom was so dark, di ba? You said
it was really dark.
You were trying, no? Many times.
Yeah,
who was there for you? How were you saved?
So I started sleeping under a knife, but ano siya nga, medyo contradictory. Like, I wanted to kill myself, but also I'm afraid of death. So, parang I had suicidal thoughts na, can I just jump off a building? Can I just drown? And then, it was just God. Like, I was just praying to Him every single night. And then, yun yung pin post ko on Instagram with my hair up in a bun. I went to Nuvali to see my half-brother. He lives there kasi. And then, nakita ng cousins ko, like, Phoebe, look, the cloud, it looks like a girl na, like, girl in a side view with her hair up in a bun. And I'm just like, wow. Like, God's listening to me. Na parang that's me. So that's me hearing God speak talaga na PBB should continue to trust in me. And then back then, I was just like, okay, I'm not gonna kill myself. Like, God has a plan for me. I heard from Him. And then someone asked me about some mental health and substance abuse. And then I was able to relate it to my own story again. Na I tried to numb the pain through different substances. Like, even if I was a Christian, because it was all too hard. And it just shows the importance of mental health kasi na here in the Philippines, when you take those substances, ay addict ka, outcast ka. Ako mismo magpapakulong sa'yo. When in fact, people, it's not the drugs that make an addict, but the need to escape reality. So I was able to snap out of the substance abuse when I realized na, why am I trying to escape reality? I should face it instead of trying to escape. So that's what made me cut the addiction. I was also praying about it. Like, I even told my mom na, Mom, help, I'm getting addicted to this na. But, yun. So it's also another thing that I really want to tackle, just being real. Yeah, so, like, I would say talaga, God saved me through multiple things, substance abuse, the rape, family issues. I ran away from home. I was out of home for 3 years. Nung nagkaayos kami ng mom ko, dun na naging okay. But it took 3 years. So, in those 3 years, I got a job, I was working multiple things. I was working in an agency, I was doing part-time selling, and sometimes live streaming, influencer hosting, lahat na pinasok ko just to support myself.
Overwhelming yung nangyari sa'yo. Alam, bilib ako sa'yo.
Thank you.
Talagang ginamit ni Lord yung buhay mo. Like what you said, yung pain, naging purpose. Kasi kung di nangyari sa'yo yan, hindi ka ganito ngayon. Diba? Pero ang gusto kong malaman, Phoebe, kailan yung turning point na ito na, dito na ako magsisimula?
For me, it was the dream na I mentioned nung interview. It's actually very crazy to think na God spoke through a dream, which He does again in the Bible, Joseph the Dreamer. So it was my first time experiencing that. Na siguro starting September, my birthday, I was just in a position from a recent heartbreak. I actually broke up with the guy on my birthday. And then I just said I choose God. Like, God's the #1 priority in my life. I seek His kingdom first, above all else. And I feel like once I became completely, entirely obedient, dun ko na siya narinig ng malakas. And then I just had a dream. One night, yung dream ko is, it started off in third-person view. So, parang nanonood ako movie, parang CCTV. Actually, mataas nga yung angle. So, parang it's a man holding a woman, binubuhat niya, tapos pinifinger niya yung woman. And then, yung next scene is yung cubicle na parang Glee, yung dormitory bathroom. So, pumasok ako sa bathroom, may drain in front of me, the shower's on. First-person view na, nakikita ko na yung paa ko. Nakatingin, kasi diba when you shower, nakatingin ka lang sa paa ko. So, nakatingin ako sa paa ko, and then may blood, na super daming blood nanggagaling sa right. And logically, diba dapat mapunta siya sa drain? Kasi water is flowing, dapat nandun sa drain. Instead, parang nag-cover yung buong POV ko ng blood, like waves crashing on the sand. And then, I woke up. And then when I woke up, I was really wondering, like, why did I dream of blood? And 2, I haven't had a rape dream in years, like 7 years. Like, I have healed. So, ano to? So, parang I was more bothered about the blood. I even sent screenshots. So, I'd had the dream September 27, 28. I have a screenshot pa nga na I searched it up. What does blood in your dream mean? Blood on the floor. Nakasulat sa article sa Google is, you have a strong empathy for other people. But I was still wondering, ano ba yun? Ano ba yun? So I was really bothered na parang palagi ko naalala yung blood kasi it was so vivid. Like, more vivid than anything. I usually don't remember my dreams talaga. So, come Sunday, October 1st, I really remember the dates. A pastor preached a sermon entitled Losing the Chains of Injustice. So, actually, this was a pastor, dad nung lead pastor, kasi namatay yung mom nung wife niya. So, nag-take over tong dad niya. And his name is Pastor Chris, such an amazing person. He leads the Favor Care arm. So, Favor Care actually manages a lot of different NGOs. So, they have Water for Africa, they have Consider the Lily for yung mga trafficking victims. They also have one, I forgot what it's called, but it's for people, a shelter for those who abort their children. So madami silang organizations like that. They even have Redemption Christian School, which is a school that helps the poorest of the poor, free education. So madami silang ganun. So this guy is a guy that leads organizations. So his talk was about the Good Samaritan, the parable of Jesus addressed to the Jews. And the Jews and the Samaritans hated each other and vice versa, right? So, parang a man was robbed and left on the side of the road. A priest passed by, hindi pinansin. Priest passed by. A Levite passed by, hindi pinansin. But it was the Samaritan that helped the man. And parang it just shows, it transcends beyond cultural and societal norms na you should help. And then the pastor struck me with the question, how often did you know people were suffering? You didn't do anything to help. And I was just like convicted. I was tearing up na parang, this is what the dream meant. I saw blood flowing, sobrang daming blood. Bakit di ako tumingin? Bakit di ako tumingin sa red? Bakit hindi ko hinahanap yung dumudugo? So I realized I wasn't the one bleeding anymore. Like, Phoebe, you have healed. What are you doing now? And I remember nung May 9, when I won the case, so that's months back from the dream nung September, I told God na, God, if I don't win this case, masasayang yung 8 years ko, but I will still be at your feet. But if I do win this case, I will never shut up. Like, I will testify. I will speak of your goodness. Pero September na, wala pa rin ginagawa because nga, I had this mental problem then with a relationship that wasn't going right. And then I realized I put my self-worth in men. So parang naalala ko, like, I've been through so much things in life. I'm always, you know, my friends tell me na, Phoebe, when I'm with you, I can shut my brain down. Na, kasi they feel super safe around me. I'm a planner, I have ADHD, like, I keep everything organized. So parang, na-realize ko talaga, like, why is the simplest thing na relationship affects me so much? And then I backtrack 8 years ago. Yun din yung rason kung bakit ako na-rape. Na parang, oh, I was looking for comfort in men. Why don't you put your comfort to the one you know that can ultimately heal you through and through? So parang na-realize ko, these 8 years, pabalik-balik ako eh. Like, so I was like, 1 foot in the kingdom, 1 foot in the world. I love God, tapos babalik ako sa world. Parang nadidistract ako sa world. Nadidistract ako, oh, you have a career in influencer marketing. Oh, may relationship ka naman. Ah, sira ka na naman. Oh, substance abuse. Parang push and pull siya. But I'm so grateful we have a God that would consistently chase you down and pull you back in the right direction. So I said on my birthday, okay, I dropped it. I dropped everything. I choose you, God. Yun na. That was the start of everything na coming into place. When I was crying dun sa sermon, I was typing an action plan. I need to start an NGO. I need to provide free mental health, free legal counseling. I look to my right, these are all my friends. So, syempre, nagkasalita yung pastor. Nung natapos yung service, they were wondering why I'm crying. I'm like, I want to start an NGO. And I thought I was gonna do it alone. And like, we're with you. Let's do it. We're just excited for Women's Month at this point na at least now we're more prepared to continuously send out the message na the shame is not on the victim, not on the survivor, but on the aggressor, and just continue to push it out because it is a silent pandemic. Because if 1 in 3 women have experienced physical and sexual abuse in their lifetime, most recent report natin from the PNP, so this is only reported cases, not the ones that are reported because of the shame, because of the stigma. 22 in November, this report was from November 2022, 22 rape cases per day. Per day. So imagine, those are people that reports it. So safe to say, it could be double, it could be triple the number. So safe to say, at least one person gets raped every hour in the Philippines.
I know this is a difficult question, Phoebe. Diba, yung relationship mo kay God, kay Christ, yan ang nag-save sa'yo. But He also speaks of forgiveness.
Yeah.
How, your rapist, have you forgiven them?
I have. Actually, this is the best advice Tita Miriam, Tita Yami has given me na I was 18, I was lost, I had so much anger. Siya, pag nababasa mo yung counter affidavit nila, she wanted it, nag-cheerleading siya after, hindi yan totoo. So parang, plus yung sinisira pa nila yung character ko, it was forgiving them that set me free. Because you can forgive them and still file the case. Because not forgiving or holding anger in your heart is like eating rat poison and waiting for the other person to die.
Paano yung proseso ng pagpapatawad sa mga taong ginawa yun sa'yo?
Yeah.
I'm sure may process yan eh. What is your process?
Joy Tanchi puts this very well. She mentioned it in a Tony Talks interview, and it's here too na if, you know, God forgave us, and it's literally written in the Lord's Prayer na if you want to be forgiven, if you want a spot in eternity, you have to forgive other people. So it's a hard lesson, but it's more of being more like Jesus, because forgiveness is really essential if you really want to heal.
But it doesn't happen just like that. Hindi exactly, hindi overnight na, okay, forgive ko na. Ano yung many nights na pinag-iisipan mo ba? O pinagdasal mo muna? Is it time to forgive? Ano yung, how long did it take for you to forgive them? From 2016?
From 2016.
How many
I
years?
would say it took me 2 years. Because I remember, I was still pretty hurt in 2018. Kasi nung 2018, that March, so that's 2 years after the case, kakabalik ko lang ng college na. I started college January 2017. So that was like a taste of Phoebe being back in the normal world.
And How was it?
It was,
did you hear any whispers? Yung pinag-uusapan ka ba? Hindi?
Because I studied in Benilde, and it's such a big school. It was kind of like a fresh slate. Of course, there's some people here and there, but they don't really care. So it was, you know, my path to starting a regular life. But I remember nung 2018, Halloween, I remember running out of Palace in BGC. I was crying in a costume, and my other friends who were in Uptown Pride. So parang, diba, from Palace up to Pride. So I was walking there, and then they just saw me crying because I was so traumatized. I saw one person, yung na-acquit nung sa fiscal.
Nakita mo? Oh my.
So parang, you're running free. So parang nag-flashback siya lahat. Like, why do I deserve this? Bakit ba sila nakita? So I would say, like, I healed mga end of 2018 going into 2019.
Wait, yung nakita mo na yun, isa sa mga rapist mo.
Siya yung may-ari ng bahay.
But he raped you. Bakit siya hindi nakakulong?
Yung fiscal. Like, dalawa sila. So, parang minention sa akin. Because we initially had a lawyer. And then, another lawyer took over. And then, prosecutor. So, when the other lawyer took over, sabi, bakit hindi what should we call this term? Bakit hindi binalik? Dapat yan, kinounter pa yan. Mali yung decision. So, even now, the prosecutor, parang pag tinitingnan, dapat pinabalik yan. Pero wala na tayong magawa ngayon kasi nakalipas na.
The one in jail now, the oldest
the eldest,
sa group, no?
Yeah.
Siya napatawad mo na din.
Yeah. I think, I would say na I was completely healed na by 2020. That's why I say mga end of 2018 or 2019. Kasi when I testified in 2020, my family galit na galit pa sila. Especially my lolo, my tita, na parang, kasi they're there sa hearings. Ako hindi nagpapakita unless I have to testify. So parang may yabang pa yung tatay, may yabang pa siya habang nagte-testify. May dala silang yabang. So syempre, for my family members, mahal nila ako eh. May galit yan. So parang kapal naman ang mukha mo eh. But nung dumating na after nag-testify ako, nung sa recent, nung resolution, wala na silang yabang. Parang na lang sila. Pero nung beforehand, may yabang sila. But I remember when I was speaking and it's the most nerve-wracking thing I've done in my life. na, diba, I wanted to give up so much time. Pero naisip ko talaga, reglo na lang, ayoko na ialala yung case ko. Until I got there and I spoke on the stand. Tapos, online pa siya, the judge was online, naka-face mask, naka-face shield. And,
what did you say on the stand?
I shared my entire testimony and then I was just shaking the entire time. Like, iba talaga yung feeling eh. So, yung parang pag pinapractice mo sa tingin mo, kaya mo. Pero pagdating mo doon, grabe yung puso mo.
Nag-breakdown ka?
Yeah, I did. I was really crying doon sa stand. And, syempre, it's kinda hard to do na they're watching also. But I remember when I was crying on the stand, I was just doing it for my family. Parang nung time na yun, I'm so glad I had a family that really encouraged me now, Phoebe, you need justice. You're gonna do this. You're gonna fight. Na parang, even at my weakest, ibabalik nila ako. Kasi namatay nga yung best friend ko. Plus, di kami okay ng mom ko. So I'm like, I haven't graduated school. I don't have a job. I need money. So parang, you know, but I'm just glad na I continued fighting.
Pero sorry, I have to ask this, yung financial damages?
It's just 100,000. It's just 100,000 for damages. So,
meron bang explanation niya? Anong legal explanation? Bakit sa kabila ng ginawa nila sa'yo? 100,000?
It's not enough.
Not enough.
Hindi pa nga yun enough to cover therapy.
I know.
Yeah.
Why? Bakit maliit?
I actually didn't question it na. Because when I won last May, I was just happy I won.
That was more important than
I was just happy I won. Wala akong pake sa pera at that point. Naalala ko lang siya when I had the idea for PAVE. Sabi ko, Tita Elaine, I could use that 100,000 for my org. Can we go back for it? Kasi my family parang stands tall. Sabi, you don't need to get that money anymore. You don't need that money. Parang ganun sila kasi nga maliit lang eh. Parang justice, yes. So, binalikan ko sa court and then we checked. Tapos, dapat ipapakita yung resolution para makuha mo. We were asking na in City Hall how to get the funds. I wasn't able to get it. Apparently, kasi ito pala, backstory. Yung resolution is 100,000 in damages and 10 years minimum to 12 years maximum. Pero counted na dun yung 2020 to 2023 na he was in prison. So he has 7 years na lang. So, yun. And then...
Wait, 7 years na lang siyang nakakulong from 2023? Tama ba ako?
Yeah, so, kasi counted yung 3 years.
10 years lang palang...
10 years lang yung sana. 10 years minimum to 12 years maximum because it was, sabi nga nung judge nun, it was the longest resolution he has ever given. Ang haba eh. I was nerve-wracked, me and my tita while he was speaking. Because I remember in court, lagi kasi ako nagpa-play ng worship music. I'm just praying pag nagsasalita sila. Tapos, like, parang yung speech nung judge, it was leaning towards the perpetrator. So, kala ko, oh my God, di tayo mananalo. So, it was leaning towards them. And then yung last speech, but this court is a compassionate court. Bale, maawain yung judge. Kaya siya 10 to 12 years. Parang in-explain niya pa nung una bata, kaya nung nangyari to, blah, blah, blah. But honestly, he was older. So, imagine if I just turned 18 nun eh. February yun eh, my birthday September. So imagine if it happened before September. Mas mabigat kasi minor. So, I just took it. Like, I was just really happy. I'll appreciate what I have now because nga, I've forgiven them na. So siguro, like, just love like Jesus, they could have a second chance in life.
You believe that they can change? They will change?
I mean, nothing's impossible for a God that we have. Pero,
do you believe that they learned their lesson?
Hopefully. I mean, I haven't talked to them, but hopefully they have.
Him pala, isa lang siya.
Yeah, hopefully he has. I mean, sana din naman yung nasira na yung buhay nila lahat. Sana na-realize nila yung mali nila. Sana, like, that's my only hope na after everything that happened, sana sila yung nag-a-advocate sa mga ibang lalaki na, oh, I went through this case.
And if you see them again, will you run away from them or will you confront them?
I don't know. I don't think I'm ready to talk to them.
So you'll just avoid them?
I will just avoid because...
Have they reached out to you? Ngayon na very visible ka sa PAVE, wala message natin?
They kept, the one in prison, yung family niya, yung friends niya, kept trying to reach out, kausapin mo kasi parang nagmamakaawa na aregluhin niya. That's why I had the idea nung 2020 na aregluhin. Kasi nag-o-offer na sila. So, yun nga, ang dami nangyari sa akin that year. But I'm really glad I didn't. But aside from that, I don't think I really need to speak to them. I feel like, parang I really don't. I just thought about it now. I don't think I need to speak to them. I just wish them well. Sana hindi ako huntingin after 7 years. So parang may isip, honestly, mas dun pa ako matatakot kasi it's possible, diba, na baha yung galit in prison.
Unless binago na siya ng prison. Yun
lang yung hope ko na binago na siya, nagbago na siya in prison. I hope all of them have met Jesus na and also just move on from it.
Now let's talk about PAVE Philippines. From the time it was launched in November 2023, paano na nakatulong ang PAVE Philippines sa mga, I like your term, no? This is what I learned from you, ito yung takeaway ko from you. We must not call rape victims victims. We must call them victors. Tama? I like that. So paano ka na nakatulong sa mga rape survivors and rape victors?
So far, since we're a very early on organization, we really just try to raise awareness and be there for them. Since yun nga, like yung kay Joy Tanchi, all I needed was someone to give me hope. And that's what we're doing. We're instilling hope in each and every one. So I know I speak Christianese now, but hindi ko sila ginagano.
Another takeaway from you.
Christianese.
Ngayon ko lang narinig yung Christianese.
PB term.
Napakatita ko kasi. Christianese.
Kasi I take it from my church. Now, we don't really stick Christianity down your throat. We let you find God on your own. We just lead you to Him. So for PAVE, it's not my job to heal people. It's my job to lead you to the ultimate healer. So they share their story, and then I share mine, and then my correlation, of course. And then if they will ask me, even after the talks in NAFA, they're like, grabe, how have you healed? Paano mo, like, how are you able to do this? I'll always be like, it's all God. So, and yun lang, I want them to be the one to ask me, how did you heal? God. Like, it's the simplest talaga. It's God and forgiveness, which was also a trait of Jesus.
Pero paano kung yung na-rape, hindi siya kasing spiritual and religious mo? Paano natin sila tutulungan?
I've had a number. It's really more of sharing your genuine story because people will see that as you speak. I feel like there's this glow or there's just this thing na when I see people, when I see Christian, like, oh, that's Jesus in this person. You can see how Christians are. Like, I would say that my heart for service is the same heart na most people that love Jesus do. Because if you love Him, your heart breaks for what breaks His. You're gonna care about these social causes.
So it's just a matter of time na bigyan natin ng pagkakataon at panahon na mag-heal ang isang tao, hindi natin pipilitin.
Because if they're not open to it, then I'm just gonna say forgiveness and I'll just pray for that person na hopefully one day matouch siya.
And because prayer works wonders, prayer moves mountains. Time will come na mahi-heal talaga siya and will open up her heart once again. Ikaw, Phoebe, how has the experience changed you naman personally? May boyfriend ka ba ngayon? Ready to love? Do you think when will you be ready to have?
I would say that I am ready. I'm already turning 27 years old this year. Pina-pressure na ako ng nanay ko magkaanak. Gawa mo na!
Hindi ka parang na-trauma na ako. Ayoko na magkaroon ng relasyon. Hindi ka ganon.
No naman.
Ready ka? To open your heart and give it to someone who deserves it.
Because I feel like me, like even when we're doing interviews, I can tell my story to even people that don't know me at all. Like even if you've just met me, I will tell you my story. Because for me, vulnerability, you have to be vulnerable to build a connection with someone. So actually, when I'm dating people, like if you're not ready to be vulnerable with me and tell me what you're going through, like what's your childhood trauma, bye.
So, pag nasa dating phase, do you already, kilala ka na ng tao alam na nila what you went through Meron ka bang gano'ng experience na nakikipag-date ka na, alam mo yun, nasi-sense mo, may iba tong gusto? Meron ka gano'n, na hindi to seryoso sa akin, tong lalaking to. May gano'n kang mga na-encounter.
Yeah, I've had those type of people na at this point, I know how boys think. Because I until now, I'm still one of the boys person. But, you know, my guy friends now, these are people na, you know, are male advocates as well. So, I guess I know how they think. So, parang, alam ko na like, mafe-feel mo na, you have discernment na.
Dito sa PH, you're what? 3 months, no? November, December, January. As we speak now, February ngayon. Ano yung pinaka na-touch ka na storya ng lumapit sa'yo na who went through the same thing as you na-rape din?
Yeah, so it's a lot. It's a lot of people that submitted it.
Pero yung pinaka, oh my.
Yung pinaka na-touch talaga ako. It was very long. I posted this on my Instagram. It was a friend I worked with. So silent survivor siya. Like, parang tama yung sinasabi ko. Like, there's silent survivors around you. So when I found out, I'm like, oh my gosh, I was with you every single day. I didn't know. She sent a long message during the year end, December 31st, na Phoebe, thank you for creating that page. For so long, I was blaming myself and I learned so much. Thank you for having this as a reference and now I can start to heal. So, she's never talked about it. She's been closed off. Siya yung sinasabi mo na parang sobrang daming trauma. And then, this girl actually, she's a breadwinner of her family. So, parang grabe, ang dami mo nang ginagawa and then no one knows pa. So, she's such a fighter. She's such a warrior. So, I really commend her for telling me that. I really told her na your story is the one that touched me the most because parang, yun na yung mismong purpose ng PAVE is like to reach these women that really don't know how to heal.
And you know her pa.
And I know her pa. And I'm just glad na this sphere of influence, like just showing people how much I love Jesus and how much I care about these cause. Dun na sila nag-a-adapt. Like even, like actually that girl is not a Christian at all. I gave her the book and then now she wants to visit.
But truly you're God's instrument.
Thank you so much. Actually, that's my tattoo. Like, it's a feather. So, I'm just God is the author, I am the feather, an instrument to be used at His will.
Phoebe, pag baka may nanonood sa atin ngayon at nangyari sa kanila to, anong gagawin nila? Kung hindi lost sila, confused sila, nila ang gagawin right after it happens, being raped. What should they do?
Well, first, I would pray about it and seek help immediately and make a decision. Because if you want to file a case, or even if you're not ready, I would advise you to go straight to either CRAME or the Women and Children's Help Desk.
Ipa-blotter na agad.
Yeah. Para magpa-medical legal ka na din. So whether or not you want to file a case, at least meron kang medical legal that proves it kaagad because they can detect it na parang sa akin nakasulat even after 2 weeks, blunt force trauma was seen even after 2 weeks. So at least pag naagapan, actually, alam ko even if may semen, makukuha pa nila yun. Yeah, so that would be the first step.
Pero paano kung years ago na nangyari? Meron ba yung parang tinatawag na period of expiration ba?
Wala.
Halimbawa, 5 years after na, tsaka ka lang nagkaroon ng lakas ng loob magsabi, pwedeng retroactive yan.
Yeah, you can file at any time. There are people na it happened 30 years ago and then they decide they want to file a case. And rape is actually a public crime. So, even if I was the one that got raped, you can file a case for me. Yeah.
So, sa mga nanonood sa atin ngayon, if you know someone na na-rape pero wala siyang lakas ng loob na siya yung magsasampa ng kaso, ikaw na kaibigan o ikaw na kamag-anak o ikaw na nanay, pwede pala ikaw ang gumawa nun, ikaw mag-file, lalo na kung minor. I'd like to end this interview by saying that you blessed me today with your life story. Ang hirap ng pinagdaanan mo, Phoebe, talaga. Hindi ko ma-imagine. Kanina nga iniisip ko, ano ba ginagawa ko nung 18 years old ako? Life was pretty normal then, di ba? Although, that times, magsiseparate na yung parents ko. Separate na sila. They had a rocky marriage. Pero, I didn't go through what you went through. Yung trauma. yung bangungot, diba? Yung nightmare, and then you had a problem pa with your mom then, diba? Pero I'm glad that you've healed, the two of you, diba? It's never too late for parents, for mothers and daughters, no? Na magkasundo, diba? So,
nothing's impossible. Kala ko never kami magkakabal.
Pero look, diba?
But now we're strong.
Look at your journey, kayong dalawa. And then here you are, using your pain for this purpose. Ang ganda, using your life now to help others, no? Ang dami mo natutulungan. You're now 26.
26. Turning 27.
Gagawin ko pa siyang 28, hindi ba? Malayo pa.
Next year.
You're 26, turning 27, but look what you have done to your life. Look what God has done to your life.
It's amazing.
And malayo pa yung mararating ng pain.
We're only getting started. We have big dreams, but a bigger God.
Yeah. So, guys, please support this vlog. Please share this kasi I will commit the earnings of this vlog, total earnings of this vlog for PAVE.
Thank you so much. That means a lot.
Kasi tulungan natin yung PAVE na tumutulong sa iba. Kaya I commit all the earnings of this vlog. Sana wag naman piso, no? No, really.
Like, share, and subscribe.
Like, share, and subscribe. Share her story. Share Phoebe's story. Because in sharing Phoebe's story, we will be able to save many. The unreported. Sabi mo nga, 22, imagine 22 rape cases reported pa lang in a day. What about the, yung walang voice or takot? Kasi nauunahan ng takot, diba? Nauunahan nga yung stigma nga eh. Takot magsabi, takot mapahiya, takot mabash baka sa panahon ng social media. Yung nang-rape pa sa kanila, baka yung mauna pa mag-post. At saka yung machismo mentality na ang sisisiin pa, kaya yan na-rape kasi mahalay magdamit. Hindi mo may mga ganon.
That's true.
Well, can you tell the men out there about this? Do not blame the victim. Doon tayo sa part na do not blame the victim.
We shouldn't victim blame. Instead, we should believe, support, and empower women. And male advocates play a pivotal role in our movement. Because, let's face it, men get more credit for being a feminist than a woman does. So, if a guy speaks to a guy na, oh, you girl, mali yan, they get more credit. Kasi mas credible ka na. Like, kasi guys, parang na siya naging culture na din nila na parang, cool ako, dami kong kasama ng babae. I think it's more cool when you respect women.
Tama yun. That's why kami ni Julius, let me just tell you, believe ako kay Julius because whenever he talks to our son, we only have one daughter, one son, naririnig ko yung kanilang conversation about crushes. And that's the perfect time that you tell your sons to respect women. Nauna dyan yung respect for the mother. Respect your mom, respect your sister, respect women. If all fathers and mothers teach their sons how to respect and truly love women, I guess rape would not happen.
Exactly, because rape and violence against women, it's a crime of ego, it's a crime of lust.
Iba lang yung pag under the influence of drugs. Ibang usapan na yun. Iba. Hindi, kahit na sinong matinong tao, nagiging demonyo, nagiging hayop, diba? Pag under the influence, that's another story. So, halimbawa, sinubukan yung tumawag sa 911, pero naka-hold yung call at hindi kayo agad makakonect sa isang taong magre-rescue, no? O tutulong sa inyo. Ito na lang ang gawin nyo, guys. Yung ginawa ni Phoebe.
Go straight sa Women and Children's Help Desk and sabihin niyo po kung ano nangyari. Ipapasulat na po nila kaagad yung testimony niyo at sasabihin nila na mag-medical legal po kayo.
At lahat ng police na mga station, meron yan.
Lahat
Tama?
po.
May,
bawat police station po meron.
So, yun ang gagawin nyo. Whether mag-isa lang kayo o kasama yung kaibigan nyo na pwede kayong tulungan, meron at merong tutulong sa inyo. Phoebe, before we close, ano na lang ang pwede mong sabihin sa lahat ng mga babaeng nanonood sa atin, pati mga lalaki?
I just wanna say, if nangyari po yun sa inyo, you are not alone and your story matters.
Thank you, Phoebe.
Thank you so much.
God bless you even more.
God bless you too. Thank you for this platform yet again.
So, I hope
big help.
Talaga, yun din ang prayer ko, na marami tayong ma-reach sa interview na ito, as well as those who will interview you after me, the vloggers, and
siya na
ibang
po ang
network.
pilot. Siya ang first na nagka-interest po para i-push forward yung movement namin.
I truly believe in PayPH, and I
Thank
will
you
help
so
you in
much.
whatever way I can, kami ni Julius, through our platforms, then TV, at ito nga, yung vlog. Julius will share this vlog also. And kayo na nanonood, please share this vlog also. So tulong-tulong tayo, just like Phoebe, tulong-tulong tayo sa mga ngailangan ng ating pagkalinga, pag-unawa, tulong at suporta.
Yes, because together, we can pave the way for a safer tomorrow. Thank you.
Brave, brave, brave girl.
Thank you so much. A victim walks around with open wounds, while a survivor walks around with scars healed. A victim hurts other people, while a survivor helps heal other people.